Once you've set your camera up on your CamHi app on your phone, and you have connected it to your local Wi-Fi network, which is obviously going to use to connect through to the internet and in turn allow you remote access via the app, you're going to have to go into programming and make some program changes, in particular set up the correct recording parameters. So on the main page of the app where the camera thumbnail picture is shown, on the right hand side is the cogwheel, the menu cogwheel. You touch that and you'll be taken to this page here, which is the main menu page. Now the first field, change password, you won't need to do that as you already set the new password when you first loaded the camera onto your app. Second setting is alarm setting. Now you will need to enable motion detection. Now this field here is where you set your area of detection and sensitivity. Now this camera is just in a test mode, so it's showing you an inside view. However, when you set your camera up, generally it's going to be viewing outside across a bigger area. Now generally for most outside situations you'll set the sensitivity setting back to about 20. Now that is a sensitivity level, the less being less sensitive, the higher number being more sensitive, but set it at about 20 as is. Now the blue line around the camera picture as shown here, you can put your finger on the corners and drag across and change that field of view. This is, for example, where you were, say, looking at a busy road and the top horizon of the camera picks up all the cars driving along the road, and you don't want the cars triggering the camera all the time. So you would drop the horizon down so it cuts out that area. Or another example, looking into a neighbour's property where you don't want his activity triggering your camera. So this is where you can adjust the area of sensitivity. So it's only within that blue area where movement will trigger the camera. Or trigger it to record. Once you have set it to where you feel is optimum, you press the apply button and you go back. The next setting is the action with alarm. Now you will need to turn on SD recording. Now there's a lot of other features in here that I won't go into at this stage, but here you can set it up to cloud record images on detection. You can set to cloud record to a FTP server, but yes, I won't go into it in great deal. That's something when you get more used to the camera and more used to its functionality that you can then introduce. So as I said, set the alarm SD record, go back. The next setting down is the recording schedule. Now by default the file records are set at 600 seconds, which is too much. You need to change that generally back to 60 seconds. That allows you then to put a cap on the size of the file that you record, so that when you're transferring it off your phone, when you're downloading footage, you can transfer it easily via email or via text message, etc. So set to 60. Stream setting is set to first, or first stream being high definition, so leave that at default. And on recording schedule, set it to none and then apply. Go back to the menu, top left hand side. The next setting is the audio setting. Not crucial, but it doesn't hurt to turn those volumes up on both line and microphone. That allows you to both record and hear better audio input and microphone output across the camera. Set those, and top left hand corner of the arrow will take you back to the menu. Video setting, now I'll come back to that in a moment, because when we change that, the camera will power cycle. So we'll go back out of video setting. Wi-Fi setting is the next. Again, you'll need to do nothing there, because when you set the camera up, married it to the app first off, or introduced it to the app, you would have set that camera up to lock it into your Wi-Fi network, which it obviously uses to connect to the internet and in turn connect to the app on your phones. So go back from Wi-Fi Manager. Go to SD card settings next. When you first set the camera up, it doesn't hurt to format the card. This just means that it beds the card in properly as per any SD card or any hard drive. You format it and it starts recording correctly. So you accept and yes. This will generally take 10 to 15 seconds to format. Just be patient and let it work its way through it. And when it's formatted, it goes back to the camera, to the main menu page again. Next is the time setting. Select the time setting. Particularly if you have purchased a camera and you're outside our time zone, which is here in Western Australia, it's important that you sync your camera with your phone app up the top, and you'll see the time come in at the exact same time as your phone or your own time zone. If you don't do this, you run the risk of, when you have recorded image or recorded video footage, when you go back to search for it, because the camera log reads a different time than your phone, it will get confused and you won't be able to find the images. It will just show nothing there. So that's an important one. And then go back. All the others basically are email setting, which you'll use to set up email cloud record, which I won't go into, as is the FTP setting. Lastly, we'll go back to the video setting. Now, generally, it's not crucial, you can leave it at this setting, but generally we change on the first stream, which is the high definition, we change the frame rate from its default 20 back to 15. We leave everything else as is. The second stream, which is the lower network stream images, we leave that at 20. We then change the hertz rating, the video format hertz rating, to 60 hertz, and then you save it. Now when you save it, as you can see there, the camera is going to power cycle and restart. So I will select that and then sign off on this video. But once you have done that, then you have basically set the camera up for its record parameters very much of a standard. Check on it, go back periodically over the days after you have programmed it. Make sure for your particular environment and distance that you're looking, make sure that it's triggering when it needs to on movement. As importantly, make sure it's not triggering too much. Feel very free to contact us once you have set it up, particularly if you're having any technical issues or any questions. Feel very free to contact us, and we can provide tech support over the phone, both tech support to you, and we can also, if you wish, can remote access into your camera or cameras, check your settings and advise you accordingly. All our contact details are on the support literature that you would have received. So I will now set